This is a moment in time for one person, and his name is Louis Marchand. And he was our first Marchand progenitor to leave Brazier-Port-Avenue, France, and arrive in New France. Louis was a recruit in the colonial regular troops, which were called the Campagne de François de la Marine, and which is basically the French Navy. He joined in about 1691 at the age of 20. There is a very good possibility that Louis Marchand enlisted in the French Navy when Joseph Robineau de Villebon was in Paris, France, preparing for his return to Acadia on the frigate called the Soleil d'Afrique. On the 7th of April 1691, the king appointed Villebon the governor of Acadia. The Soleil d'Afrique was first launched in 1681 at Rochefort and commissioned to bring back furs to France, where they had been captured during various raids. After a stop in Quebec, the ship went on towards Acadia. Louis Marchand probably stayed for a time in Quebec before moving to Acadia. Villebon then went to Port Royal in the Soleil d'Afrique. He found the English flag flying, but no English guards. Villebon pulled down the English flag and again took possession of Acadia in the king's name. Port Royal was captured in 1689 by the English, and they took the French governor back to Boston as a prisoner. After the capture of Port Royal by the British in 1689, the capital of Acadia was moved to Fort Jemsek. Villebon then sailed back to Fort Jemsek. Not comfortable, he made the decision to build a new fort higher up in the St. John River, where he would be less exposed to attack, and selected a site on the north bank of the Nasquash River at its junction with the St. John River. This new location was also near the great settlement of Meddictic. It was the largest settlement of the Wolastoqiyik people. After Villebon finished construction of Fort Nasquash, it replaced Fort Jemsek as the capital of Acadia. On the morning of the 18th of October 1696, the British fleet arrived opposite the fort, near where the Fort Nasquash Hotel now stands. When they arrived, the English sent several troops to land on the south bank of the Nasquash River opposite the fort to set up a land battery with 3 cannons and started firing on the fort. The English troops were not prepared for the cold and damp nights, and as a result, they had wet gunpowder and suffered from the very cold nights because they were not dressed for the cold weather. There was a fierce exchange of fire for 2 days, with the advantage going to the better sighted French guns. In the middle of the night, the British decamped and departed, having suffered 8 killed and 17 wounded. They left the dead bodies on the shore of the Nasquash River when they left, and took 12 wounded soldiers and 5 officers back with them. Fort Nasquash was evacuated in the autumn of 1698 and soon afterwards demolished by the king's order about 1700. Louis Marchand received approximately 9 French lire a month for working at the construction of the forts, and received 15 French lire a month when he became corporal at Port Royal. Looking back through the years, how many times have I said to myself, what if? How many times did Louis Marchand come so close to being killed while stationed at different forts in Acadia? If not for the help of the Wolastoqiyik people and the local heroes, his life would have been taken at Fort Nasquash in October 1696 when the English raided Fort Nasquash. None of these Marchands that you see in that binder here in my genealogy would have existed, including me and Reid.